Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
agenda.
We have an agenda. We do have an agenda, but the good thing is we're not CNN. We are the Bullhorn Betty channel. Yay! I hope you are all doing well. I can tell you the case that we're going to be covering. I got sucked into the rabbit hole. I will not lie. I woke up. I want to know who this guy is creeping between 2 and 5 a.m. or 3 and 5 a.m. in the morning, right? I want to know who's creeping. And so I'm diving into this case about this dentist and his wife, Monique. And I got to tell you, this is really a head scratcher. These people just seem super, super amazing. You know, you have some really good people out there in the world. You know, you just do, right? I don't consider myself one of these good people. I mean, I consider myself a good person. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But there are just some that rise to the cream of the crop that have that it factor, right? They're kind, they're beautiful, they're happy, they're, you know, everything that, you know, from the outside looking in, even though we do not believe in the perfect family or perfection, right? They seem to be more perfect than the rest of us. I'm not, I'm not saying anything. I'm just, I'm not talking about me or anything like that. I mean, I would hate for anybody to think I put myself, I judge myself either. I'm just joking. I need to stop. Eeyore Blues, it's nice to see you. The real me too up in the house. Melanie, Unicorn, it's nice to see you. We've got a very busy January and February, so we're going to be relying on our audience to be here when I can go live. Okay, there's going to be almost a week at the end of January that I'm going to be, out of commission. I've got 2 days in Tallahassee. So, and it's going to be a day drive there and a day drive back. So I've got political stuff that I have got to do. We have an opportunity to meet some of the decision makers up there in Tallahassee, and I'm taking the opportunity to go. And I've already signed up. I'm going. The only thing it's going to cost me is my food, my gas, and my hotel stay, right? Everything else, I'm a part of the Republican Liberty Caucus. It's Liberty Days. We're going to be up there. We're going to be out there meeting people and getting this stuff moving in the state of Florida. So I'm excited about that, but I'm going to be completely down for 2 days. I'm going to have to go ridiculously early for lives on our true crime stuff. And then I will debrief, my day or what I learned or anything. If you're interested, I mean, some people just aren't interested in it. So the people that are interested in it, please come back. I'll keep you guys abreast of everything, but it's going to be January 19th to the 22nd. And for those that are concerned about my beautiful baby Delilah, she is going over to Grammy's house, Gramsie's house. She's going to have a blast. I'm absolutely confident of that. So no need to fret. Let them 66, it's nice to see you. Denise, good morning. Unicorn, it's nice to see you. Oh, look what we got. Look what we got. Thank you. Happy hump day to you too. She says, happy Wednesday, Betty, Delilah, Mods, chat, sending love to everyone and prayers to whoever may need it. Don't forget to hit the like button for BHB. They used to send kits out, when we were kids, for our parents to take fingerprints, pictures of us and, the height and weight of us. And they put it on this card and they sent it back to the state for the register their kid. Like we needed to be registered in case we disappeared. We ran away from home, right? Well, we need to do that over here for the Bullhorn Betty clan, okay? The coffee club, we need your DNA. We need your thumbprint. We need to make a profile for you in case you go bye-bye. We got to send out the search party to come get you. And things have changed. We got new technology. So hit that thumbs up button so we can collect that DNA and keep you safe. Little Orange Man, it's nice to see you. Oh, Plant Lady, it's nice to see you, love. Big hugs and loves to you. Bookworm up in the house. Teresa, hey guys, I hope you're doing well. Deanna, YouTuber, good morning. Dreaming of blue skies and sandy beaches. Good morning. Pebbles, good morning. Crystal Pistol, I think I said hi, but just in case. Jenna, Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, look what we got. Love it. Love it. I hope everyone has a great hump day. BHB, you're amazing. You rock. We love you and proud. Just the way you are. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Who else do we have? Jenna, it's nice to see you, love. I hope you're doing well. I think we're kind of down to the bottom. Let's see if we have anybody over in the infamous vertical stream. It looks like we're good. We got some six people over there hanging out. Oven Baby, it's nice to see you. Skylar, it's nice to see you. I hope everybody's doing well this morning. Good morning to the people in the bushes as well. Oh, Lady O, up in the house. Oven Baby gifted a Bullhorn Bullhorn Baby. A Bullhorn Betty membership. Because I'm a love machine, damn it. Who did that go to? I don't know who that went to. Who retracted the message? Who retracted the message? Oh, maybe it was not an accident? I don't know. I heard it was gifted and then it went back. But anyways, have a great day. I don't know. I've never seen that. I never understood my creators have to beg for a simple thing like clicking a thumb. I know. But I think it's because people forget to, you know? I think it's just that people forget to. BHB, baby. I know. Oops. Oops. Anyways, guys, so I have been learning a lot about this case. Like I said, I have taken, hey, Faye, it's nice to see you. Did Delilah get her? Was that from you, Oven Baby? Oh, yes, she did get her toy. I didn't know who it was. And so, yes, she even played, I love the purple. Yes. She even played with the little, I guess, dumbbell or whatever. The one with the two little knobs on the end. She has that, and it's got a little, it's got a knob on one end and like a hole with a threaded whatever. Anyway, she loved it. And the other toys, I haven't played with her yet because I didn't want her having toys literally strung all over the road or all over the living room. So I gave her that one and I gave her the ball. Yes. Teresa, welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club. The insane, love. Nice to see you. Love it. So what I've learned about this is I still can't figure out what these two beautiful souls could have possibly done to anyone to be murdered inside. Mom got the purple ball, the chew toys with the rope. Aw, I really love it. Thank you so much, Oven Baby. I love it. So I think the one thing that we have a problem here is we don't have a lot of history. And I tried to go back and find some history on this, which is what we typically do. You know, we go through, I usually pull a background report. I start going through and, you know, kind of trolling their social medias, getting as much information, identifying extended family, you know, et cetera, you know, just trying to find out, you know, what people are saying, because I'm not boots on the ground. We're not in Ohio. So it's funny because when you're there in person, people don't mind coming up to you and whispering something in your ear, right? But when they have to actually write a letter or put their name on something, it's funny how things just don't get where they need to go. So I've experienced a lot of that, and why I favor boots on the ground. Very, 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 it's a much more expensive process, obviously, but the quality of reporting is the best, right? So we're kind of in a situation where we're at the mercy of whatever I can find. So if you guys know that when I start bringing up a case that I put a name on it, that means this is not one that we are covering in our little 5-minute sector, which we're about to do for a case here in Manatee County that I thought you guys might be interested in. A little scary, something that we can at least learn from. And then we're going to get into the main case, the main title, which is the dentist and his wife, Monique, that have been killed in their home. And thank God their young children, 4 and 1 years old, were unharmed. But how crazy this case could have turned out. I see, you know, now that I do some of this research and now that we have AI, I see some things I really, really, really have a distaste for on social media right now. I mean, we already had a problem with misinformation as it was, right? We already had people that got a little cliquey. They were more about the viewership than they were about the information that they were the information that they were providing, right? And so we had a lot of misinformation that way. But I really think now that we have AI, and I know AI should be very accurate, right? You would assume that AI is very accurate. In my opinion, I rely on AI immensely, helping me with SEO titles, helping me with descriptions, helping me locate different avenues of research. I use social media for a lot of different things. I don't have just one specific social media, or excuse me, one specific AI that I use. I use a multiple, because each AI platform utilizes a base program, right? Like ChatGPT is ChatGPT, but you also got the 3.0. You got this, same with Gemini. You got different levels of AI there, but you got specific AI developers, and there's multiple of those, and each one does different things really well, right? They don't all perform well, in my opinion. For example, I may use Perplexity for research. I find that the way it grabs its information and lists its information, it's a great utilizing tool for, quick research on the go. Whereas I might use Google Gemini for maybe an idea for a thumbnail, or to generate a thumbnail or something like that, or to give me an angle, something that is already producing well on Google and giving me ideas that way. So and then of course I use ChatGPT for helping me identify sources and help me script my show, or give me angles or outlines for my show, so we don't get too far off base. There was once upon a time we had 8-hour shows on this place, and it would be about Summer Wells, but we would sit here and just chat for hours and hours and hours on miscellaneous stuff, and just some days could just start off with Summer Wells and just go into a left lane thing and be there for hours. And so the outline kind of helps, and I also condensed where we weren't on, because again, it's not just about taking time on YouTube. At once upon a time, we spent a lot of time on here because I wasn't researching as much. I wasn't looking. I was taking one case at a time, and we were thoroughly going through that case until we couldn't go any further, and we had come to our own determination on what happened. We used to be a much larger group, right? Olivia, obviously, you guys, I'm not going to rehash what happened in the end of 2023, but the Chronicles of Olivia, she got engaged with Steve Gonzalez, and that's Kaylee Gonzalez's little brother. They, while they were doing some work for a documentary, they met each other, and they didn't really meet each other. Even when we did the interview with Kaylee's family, he wasn't there. I personally have never met him face to face. I may have met him face to face. Actually, I think I may have met him at the vigil that, or the memorial that they did for Maddie and Kaylee in Coeur d'Alene. I'm pretty sure maybe I seen it, but we were there talking to. He wasn't around. I may have seen him, but I don't recall even meeting him. Christy and Steve, mom and dad, introduced us to both Maddie and Kaylee's boyfriends, and we got to meet them. But that was probably, to the extent of that. So, even Olivia, she's all the way across the country now. Even when she left Florida, went to North Carolina, her and I were working as much as we could that far apart from each other. But then when she made it all the way over to Idaho, it makes it a little more difficult to partner with each other on these things. And it seems to me that she's slowing down a little bit as far as, going out and doing this stuff from the scenes and going off for 2 weeks at a time. I don't foresee her doing that. And we'll be doing that at the end of February and into March when I'm visiting Tennessee for the event we've got planned for Sebastian Rogers. And it's going to be spilling over because that's the closest I'm going to be to Kentucky. And you guys know I've got to go start planting some feet in Kentucky because we've got a long fight ahead of us to get Massey out of office. And so I've got to go I got to go network in Kentucky. And that's going to be a boots on the ground type of effort because I need to be belly to belly with people and get some information. So I've got to go out there. I've got to have some people that I've got to meet with, set those things up and then let that grow all on its own. So I'll be boots on the ground, hitting the ground running once I get into Kentucky, but I'm only going to be working in Tom Massey's district. I may expand out to Rand Paul's, but right now I'm just focusing on Tom Massey. He's the one that's really driving me crazy. Rand Paul is too, but not near as bad. And even my people, I'm sitting here in Facebook groups. I'll get off this conversation here in just a second, but I was even in some Facebook groups and people that I worked side by side with years advocating, right? Or like Tom Massey is like the most conservative independent person we have. I said, you know what really irritates me about that is everybody keeps telling me that. But I have watched this man vote with the Democrats 90% of the time. Now, I want you to explain to me what is conservative about that. They have every single excuse, and he's very good at convincing people exactly why he can't vote with the Republicans. But at the end of the freaking day, it doesn't matter. The man is voting with the Democrats. You see what the Democrats are doing to this country. I'm done, okay? He's had every opportunity, 13 years in office, and hasn't got a damn thing done. I'm done. Okay? He's got to go. Kentucky, you've got to stop with Massey. He is not good for this nation, and he's not good for your state. Please do yourself a favor. Please do yourself a favor. Please, for America, do yourself a favor. Cut the umbilical cord. Okay? He's not a good dude. No man that's in love with a woman is going to be able to bury one woman and marry another woman that quick. Okay? I have been single for 3 years, damn it. Okay? It's not that easy just to do it just like that. If it was, everybody that cared for somebody would do it. So he either didn't love his wife or his Peter was already out of the bag before his wife went into the, grave. So either way it looks, I'm sorry. I'm not a fan, okay? He's not my kind of guy. There's something wrong with this man. I don't know what it is. He's been able to pull the wool over our eyes all this time, but enough is enough. He's not advancing Kentucky, and he's damn sure not advancing America. So that's all I'm going to say about that, and I'm done. Drop that mic. We need to move to Florida so BH can take care of our counties. Oh, same county too. I tell you, I'm just getting so annoyed with my county, but we're not here for that. We're not here for that. Well, actually, we are because my first story is something that happened, here yesterday. Now, mind you, my Sheriff Rick Wells, was in our meeting yesterday, the BOCC meeting, and he was there because he, the way the rules work, even though he has his own budget, he can do whatever he wants. He needed to come and ask the frickin' commission if he could buy a building, right? And even though the fire department is independent and we have no control whether they buy, sell, or trade, or set up shop or whatever the case may be, they're an independent entity all of it on its own. And they can do whatever they want, but our sheriff can't. He's got to, even though he has his own budget, he still has to come and say, may I please, right? May I please buy this? I will never, any other sheriff, maybe I will say no, maybe I will, side eye him. But in all fairness, the Wells have been, policing our community for literally generations. Okay. The Wells family hasn't, his dad, Charlie Wells, was the sheriff here for a really long time, and he handed the baton down to his second in command before the second in command ultimately handed the baton back down to his son. So that's kind of how everything worked. And I think it was, a smart political move, because I think people would have had been out of shape if he handed the baton to his son, right? So we did have the other person stepping in, and then that guy wanted to retire. He had done everything he was going to do. He wanted to retire or move on, I don't know, and maybe go into private practice, which a lot of them, once they get to a certain area, end up doing anyways. And it was handed to Rick. And so at the end of the day, I've been very happy with our policing. I want to make sure that we have a safe community, and we've got cartel here, we've got thugs here, we've got areas that I would not go in. Okay, so I know that we need probably more, just like every other community, we need more policing, but bad things happen even in good communities. Oh, and I found out this dentist and his wife, this community used to have problems, and it sounds like this was revitalized. It was a revitalized area that really came into its own, and they've really attracted a whole different sector of people. And obviously there were problems historically in that area, but from my understanding, not recently. I did look at the map about RSOs. We're always curious. RSOs, right? There's a man deceased. We don't know the condition of the woman. We know she was shot one time in the chest, but we don't know what happened between the time that the multiple fire went into the man and the one shot into the woman. What happened in that room? They're being very, very hush-hush. Is this something where there was more trauma here? Was she AR'd or SA'd? These things, we don't know. This could be something, but if we're dealing with somebody that has no forced entry into that home, another person that, or, a person that, one, doesn't have forced entry into the home, two, I just don't know, having access to a gun. I mean, in Ohio, I think they're kind of a 2A a state. I don't think they restrict or regulate their, firearms that much. So you're talking about somebody that has access to a firearm because the firearm wasn't there. You have a man that was shot multiple times and a woman that was shot a single shot to her chest. So is there overkill on the husband? And if there is, then that could lead or tend to tell us that he was the primary target, right? We've got to look at history here and statistics when covering this case. I think it will help at least point us into a proper direction. Now, I know I've been watching Jennifer Coffindaffer, and I see her concerns. Why was his boss calling him in as a welfare check from Florida, only him being late for a few hours? And so I started pondering that, and I do understand her major concern. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about, do I understand Jennifer Coffindaffer's concern? Of course I do. Because it's very uncommon that somebody from Florida is going to call law enforcement and report their employee. It would usually be somebody from the office, right? It's usually somebody from the office that would do that. But I'm kind of seeing something, and I don't know if I'm accurate with it, but the way I'm kind of interpreting this whole situation, especially after hearing the 911 call, which we're going to hear in just a few minutes, I've got two things brought up. We've learned, let me pull this up real quick. We've learned a few things. So I want to give you all the information that I've learned about this case so far. Okay. Can I put this up here? Can I not? Let me see if I can. This is I think I have another one. There it is. Maybe I can use this one. Let me try to use this one. I think I might be able to use this one. And we're going to do document 2. Okay, I think I did get it. Okay. It's going to cover my face, but that's okay. That's okay. All right. So you guys kind of get to see this document that I've got before us. I'm going to throw it a little bit bigger up here on the big screen. So if you guys would like to see this a little bit easier, I'll adjust the one on the horizontal, but I want you guys to see this first because let me go ahead and put this up here. This is all public record. These people are deceased. So I just want to let you guys know we have some areas of concern here. Sorry, the one in the vertical is just not adjusting right. I think I got it. I think I got you guys over on the... Let's get this down here. I think I like that. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's just go over this document that I've put up here before you. So we have an Ohio dentist and wife. So this is the document I created, and as I got information, I just started plugging it in. And all the information that I've derived so far is from articles that I have read throughout this process. So we know the victim is Spencer and his wife, Monique. Spencer is 37. Monique is 39. They were found dead inside their Ohio home on December 30th. There's no signs of forced entry. Children were unharmed. That's important. Were the children sleeping 3 a.m. to 5 a.m.? Yes, but it wouldn't surprise me if a 4-year-old woke up or even the 1-year-old woke up to the sound of multiple gunfire. Gunfire inside of a home is very, very loud, depending on how large their home is and where the children are in conjunction with the parents, which I would have to believe that a mom, a good mom with a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, even in a split floor plan, would most likely have their children as close to them as possible. Their date of death, obviously, December 30th would be the date of death. There is a GoFundMe. Let me go ahead and put this into the chat. If you guys would, why is it not letting me copy? It's not letting me copy. Huh, that's interesting. Let's see if I can do it this way. Yes. Okay, I'm going to drop it in both chats right now. Obviously, they have a dog and 2 children, 4 and 1 years old, and both of their parents are gone. They're almost to their goal of $200,000. I truly don't believe $200,000 is going to be enough for something like this, okay? And you're talking about children that's going to need ongoing care for the rest of their life, you know? And they're going to need, God knows how much therapy. They have raised $175,000 as of yesterday for the kiddos. Yeah, and again, I still don't think that's going to be enough. I mean, these kids are 1 and 4. They're going to need so much therapy. I wish they would raise that because these kids, we already know it's going to cost a hell of a lot more than $200,000. We already know. So it's just, I mean, it's a good start, but they really should probably raise that. They were in the Wineland Park neighborhood, which I'm finding out, again, I'm doing some historical stuff on that neighborhood. The lead investigator, the investigator into the death of Spencer and Monique, is being led by the Columbus Division of Police Homicide Unit. Specifically, the lead investigator on the case is Detective Weiner, who is being assisted by Detective Miller. Law enforcement agency has already released video footage of the person of interest, and the person and is following up on numerous tips from the community as the investigation continues. Now, anyone with information released related to the incident is urged to call the Columbus Police Homicide Unit at 614-645-4730 or provide an anonymous tip to Central Ohio Crime Stoppers at 614-461-TIPS 8477. The office of the coroner, Nathan Overmeyer from Franklin County Forensic Science, is the coroner's office. We have not received the autopsy back. It's pending, final, I can't remember what it is, but I think it's still pending toxicology, and they're not leaking a peep of what could possibly be in there. As you see, suspect or person of interest has remained empty. I have not identified any person just yet. We know that there has to be, whether it's work related, which we discussed yesterday, or it's an ex of some sort, or a stranger, right? Being inside the home at that time, being able, that it really puts the stranger danger, in my opinion, way, 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 way down at the bottom. But I know with Jennifer Coffindaffer, she finds it a little suspicious, not that it means anything, and she made it very clear, but she does find it a little, concerning that the boss from Florida called him in a welfare check so soon before, after he failed to show up for work. I believe it's definitely personal. That's kind of where I'm going, and I believe whatever the target was, he was the target. The doctor was the target. The woman having the one shot in the chest, it seems to me that I feel like she was left to see. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but I feel like she was left to watch it before she was boom, I don't know if that's the case, but it seems like they took, in my opinion, the way it's not, hasn't even really been described, but because of the amount of bullets, it's multiple bullets in the man, only one in the chest for the woman. How do we know that he didn't sit on top of her and say, look what you did? Boom. I can see how that's, and I'm not sure where their position was. She might have been shot in the chest by her being standing up or walking into the room or whatever the case may be. We don't have those details. I'm just saying that I can see some of these things going on, but it seems like whoever went into that home and ultimately murdered both the mom and the father had the biggest grudge against the father, against Spencer. Spencer, for me, was the aggravating party in all of this, that she was just the witness that needed to go. And I don't know why. I'm not really so concerned, but you know what? FBI agents are trained. I am an average Joe. And so I look at things a little differently. I don't have that makeup, law enforcement pedigree and background. I just use my common sense and look through some of those things. And do I make mistakes? Of course I do. I think everybody does. Even law enforcement, we watch it every day. To raise a child at the time, it costs and they've got 2 of them, and not even including the college or the car. Every kid needs a car. Everybody needs to go to college, whether it's a trade school or what. They all cost money. So you're not talking, oven baby. You're talking about a lot of money. They need, in my opinion, they need probably 5 times the amount of money that they requested. And if I was them, if they come across Bullhorn Betty and they still have that, increase that GoFundMe. I know you're not wanting to be stingy and stuff like that, and it's not being stingy. I'm telling you, it's going to cost. I don't think people understand the true cost this is going to cost them. Now, maybe they're just doing it to get through this area because there is insurance and other things there, and maybe we don't know the whole situation, and the kids will actually be fine. They just need this money to get through, from point A to point B until things are fine. That very well could be the case. The boss also said the 2 children are there in his 911 call. How would he definitely know that? That's interesting, YouTuber. Well, we're going to get to the 911 call. Actually, let's go ahead and pull that up. This is a great segue into the 911 call. Let me get the 911 call pulled up here. Is this it? A new horrifying. Hold on. Let me find it. I could have sworn. Okay, here it is. Okay, it's right there.
He appears dead.
Okay.
There's blood.
Oh, that's the second one. That's the second one. Hold on. Let me pull these back. Let me get back. I don't even know why I'm turning this on this one. Should not be on my breaking news. It should be on another one. Yeah, let me do some work behind the scenes real quick. That's not the one I heard. I heard all of them this morning. Hold on a second. Let me find the 911. Okay. All four. Okay, here it is. True Crime Mama, thank you so much. We appreciate your service out here in the true crime genre. We really do. Thank you, thank you. Okay, guys, here we go.
Asked for a wellness check on an individual at their home. This individual, Spencer, works with me, and he did not show up to work this morning, and we cannot get a hold of him or his family.
He didn't show up to work?
Correct.
Allison Haterland.
Okay. Does he have medical problems or?
It's good to see. If you guys don't know what we're hearing right now, we're going through all of the 911 calls. It goes through, and I've got the date for, or the times for the 911 calls. It looks like the very first 911 call came in just a little after 9 to the law enforcement, and then they went to the house, nobody answered, and they left. So it was almost an hour later that the other call came in, that from my understanding. And I didn't know there was 4 calls. I thought there was only 3 calls, because I remember hearing the one from the guy from Florida. Then I remember hearing somebody call from the office and in question, and then somebody from the office went to the house, and ultimately it sounded like they went into the house. They could hear the kids, and they ultimately, it sounds like they went inside the home.
No, and he's been reliable, and we cannot get in touch with him, his wife, his family, anybody that lives in that house.
Okay. So
There's
you're
2
in
kids in
Florida.
the home. I'm in Florida. I own the business. I was informed by.
I don't think that that's as suspicious now that I hear it in context as people are making it out to be, because he was describing all of the people inside the home. And I think he was clarifying, because he had just said before that he can't get a hold of anybody inside the home. And then he said also his wife. So it implied that there was another adult there. And I think he was just referring that they have children. I don't think he was necessarily meaning it, but you know what? That could be leakage for all I know. Could this doctor have unalived them and then shot off to Florida? I mean, yeah, anything's possible. We're learning some stuff too. And let's just keep listening. Excuse me.
My employees that he was not at work.
Let's listen to it at
the office.
Let's listen to it in all over again. Oh, thank you. Up and Baby gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. Jerry Lynn, welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket in your padded room and welcome aboard.
Columbus Police, Tech 107.
Yes, I would like to ask for a wellness check on an individual at their home. This individual, Spencer, works with me, and he did not show up to work this morning, and we cannot get a hold of him or his family.
He didn't show up to work?
Correct.
Okay. Does he have medical problems or?
No, and he's been reliable, and we cannot get in touch with him, his wife, his family, anybody.
Yeah, even the dispatch lady seems a little off-putted by the fact that he's calling for an employee not showing up for work. Because I heard a little hesitation in her voice, you know? And then it comes back to, seeing what Jennifer Coffindaffer wrote, and it just, it makes me want to pause a little bit and just remind everybody that, we don't know what the hostility is here. We don't know who that person could be. Could he be somebody from his office? We brought that up yesterday. Is there a financial aspect? Did he find out somebody was committing crimes? We've got a lot of, think about it. We have a lot of people right now, especially during this time. A lot of stuff is being exposed. A lot of stuff, a lot of fraud fraud. And guess what? Some of that fraud right there was labeled in Columbus, Ohio. Not that I'm saying that they defrauded or anything like that. I'm just throwing something else out there. I mean, it's very close to doctors' offices and stuff like that all over this country being questioned about, potential fraudulent business practices. I'm just thinking of, what would be reasons for somebody to lose their life, right? And there's a few reasons why somebody would lose their life. Money, going to jail for the rest of your life. You would be almost willing to do anything not to be caught doing something that will put you in jail for a really long time, right? Or matters of the heart. There's only a few things. Oh, and of course, the stranger danger, the bum from Skid Row robbing you and breaking into your house. I mean, we do have that teacher from North Carolina with the long history of, that's assailant with a long history of criminal stuff that, broke into her house and killed her while she's on the phone with 911. I mean, we do have those stories that we can, is this one of those stories where it's just a matter of the time of mourning and the fact that the house had no forced entry. That's the problem I'm having, is the no forced entry. How the hell did the assailant get inside the home? We would have to say, the only way I can ever figure out how somebody got into a home undetected is if there truly is a door just left unopened and it's just, dumb luck. Or it's somebody that has a key or somebody that came over and the door was opened for. I'm going to venture to say, doesn't make it correct. I could still be wrong. But I'm going to say, based on the statistics, it's telling me that the person that killed these two people knew these two people. Okay? So you're talking about somebody that somebody knows them. This person is already most likely known and developed within the first 48 hours, and law enforcement is now investigating that person. Now, if that person happens to be his boss or another employee in the job, that very well may be what it is. But even that dispatcher, folks, she seemed a little taken back by the fact that this guy's calling an employee that's only been missing for a little while into this. But I think, again, I understand why. I think it's because he's out of town. He left this guy in charge, and he knows for a fact that this guy would never come in late without telling somebody. And the fact that they called him and his wife would always be picking up the phone because she's home with the kids, and that she's already, at this time, 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, probably up to her eyeballs with children, food, getting things cleaned up from breakfast, right? So, just think about their morning. They probably have had plenty of times where they've had to call the wife in the past, and she picked right up the phone. Not once, that might be the main problem, is not once has neither one of them answered the phone, and they have a gut instinct that something is seriously wrong here. Right? So we don't know if that's the case, and that's what made the boss kind of jump into action so soon. But it could just be because he's a damn good employee, and there is no way in hell he would not be at work. We just know some people like that. Do we not? I can tell you, if my mom did not show up for work and did not call in, I guarantee somebody from her job would go by her house or send an officer to go by her house. I don't think there would be anything in between, because it would be so out of character for my mom just to no call, no show. It's very out of character for me to do a no call, no show, right? If you guys didn't hear from me for 24 hours, you would think I was dead, no? Because no matter what, I'm always on this computer at some point of the day. So I'm kind of iffy. I understand the concern with the boss. This does seem a little out of place. I'm not going to dismiss it. But is there a reasonable explanation for it? And I think there is. So we're going to have to get more information if this is significant, or, you know, his boss could possibly. This is bewildering. Great word. Great word, Alice. Great word. Yes, bewildering, I think, is a good word.
That lives in that house.
Okay. So
There's
you're
two
in
kids in the
Florida.
home. I'm in Florida. I own the business. I was informed
Yeah,
by
he said there are 2 kids in the home. And I don't think it meant like he knew that there was 2 kids in the home at that moment. I think that is a standard language I've heard many times when people are describing how many kids are in the home. You know, we got 2 adults and 2 kids, you know. So I don't think that just for me personally, will it be significant later down the road? It may very well be. But right now it's not ringing as a significant, you know, red flag. It is for Jennifer Coffindaffer, which is a seasoned FBI agent. So she just wants clarification, and she even put in there the caveat that this doesn't mean anything. She would just like clarification on it because it seems a little too soon, so to speak.
employees that he was not at work, and he runs the office.
He runs the office.
Have you guys received anything else?
That's what the concern is that he runs the office. So the office is virtually, most likely their people are still working, but their office is pretty much at a standstill without his presence. It sounds like he's a key employee. And they know he has to be something serious has to be happening for him not to show up because he's there every day. If he runs that office, he runs that office. That means you're not going to have somebody run the office that's irresponsible or doesn't show up or calls in a lot. Okay, that wouldn't be your right-hand man. And I have to think that any boss that has somebody running the office, that is their right hand. That is somebody that they trust with their business. That's their livelihood. So we have to really consider this. I think that he's such a key employee. Without his presence, it really does a disservice to that office and why they knew something serious was going on. She doesn't know he's a doctor. Well, I know he's a dentist because we even put on here a prominent dentist and his wife. I do know he's a dentist, but he runs the office. So this guy here, his boss, is not the office runner. And you know what? It comes back because even I said, you know, and it kind of dovetails with what Jennifer Coffindaffer described, is that when I first heard about this, one of the first 2 things that came to my mind was an ex for her, you know, because that would be why somebody was so angry at him, you know, because they've only been married 5 years and they've got 2 kids. So, you know, somebody that wanted a life with her that maybe she broke up with several years, maybe they just kept boiling over until they erupted this day and just wanted to take them out, but didn't have the heart to punish the kids. He was angry at the man and the woman he loved. So it could be something like that. But I also said, no, you, the operator. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Now I got you, Oakley. Gotcha. The other side of that I also stated was because we knew he was a dentist and a doctor. Did he have other partners at his practice? Was he a partner at his practice? Did he hold some money? Was there some type of inner office feud between a couple doctors? And to look at that angle of it, but we still don't have a lot of information related to his job. How many people worked in his office. A dentist is a doctor and the operator doesn't know. Yeah, I got it. Get it now. I got it now. Can I suggest removing the missing children tag? I was almost in tears thinking a couple of children were moving. What do you mean? A couple of children tag. I don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm not going to remove anything. And I'm quite offended that you would ask me to because you don't like it. If you don't like it, then you don't like it. I'm not trying to be rude, but this is the Bullhorn Betty channel. This is not the Allison Haterland channel. Okay? So no, I will not remove anything. Don't ever come to my chat and come here for the first time and then ask me to do something like that. I find that very offended. I'm offended and I find it very rude. Just so I can teach you a little bit about behavior, which I shouldn't have to do. We're both adults.
Calls about him or like a car accident or anything like that?
No, sometimes people just don't show up to work. I mean, maybe.
Sometimes people just don't show up to work, she says. This was something very serious. This is what irritates me about law enforcement. This is a prime example why I say whenever you know something is wrong, no worries. I'm very pointed, and I'm very brash when it comes to this channel and how I conduct myself. And the reason why is because I'm already controversial. Okay, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to do. So trying to tell me to do this or do that, it's never going to work, and it's just going to piss me off. But you'll learn. You stick around long enough, it'll quit offending you so much. And I mean that. Trust me, every single person in this chat has been offended once or twice by Bullhorn Betty. And if they say they haven't, I don't believe them. I don't believe them. Okay, I don't believe them. So hopefully this is your one and done. No worries. Getting back to this though, the dispatcher didn't take it seriously. Jennifer Coffindaffer, she's bringing it up. We have to really look at this as suspicious, but I can only see it being suspicious if this guy from Florida made this call when no one, or who was, maybe we need to be asking a different question. Maybe not necessarily looking at the doctor in Florida as a suspect or a person of interest, but who from the office called him and got him so concerned to report this as a wellness check. You know what I'm saying? There is that. This is the only sitting down thing we ever do. This is the only sitting down thing we ever do. Watch you. I guess why I don't. That's okay. We love you because we never get mad at you. Not yet, anyways. Well, trust me, I do bite some people's heads off over here. And it's only, you know what? And the reason why we are like that is because we had so many trolls over here. If we didn't have the experience of having nasty trolls over here, we wouldn't be looking at every single comment with such suspicious eyes, like, oh, did she just say that? Is she a troll? Is he a troll? Is that BS? You never know. So we just do whatever we do, but I don't play over here on my channel. This is my channel. I don't kowtow to people's emotions. If you're emotional about hashtags, this is probably not the channel for you to begin with. Okay, and I'm fine with it. I'm not in for the views. The people that support this channel. Okay, I'm not really clicky. I'm not really viewy. If you guys would like to be here and learn some information that I'm learning, great. If not, bye. Have a great day. God bless. Right? That's how we roll. But this right here, it's kind of like I'm not feeling the concern here, but hearing this dispatcher, speak the way she's speaking and, kind of dismissing this being so concerning to call a wellness check-in. But then again, who's the one putting this in the doctor's ear, or is it him? Is there a problem here? Was he stealing money? Was they partners and this guy was, really making it and was about to buy him out and he couldn't have that? Or, what was the dynamic here that would put this doctor from Florida as so suspicious or really trying to say something's wrong? And if he is innocent, then the only thing I can think of is the fact that he truly knew that this was so out of character for this guy. We don't know their relation. They could be like best friends, and he knows damn well his best friend had nothing to do this week except be at work, right? Just talked to him yesterday. Nothing changed. No comments from him that I'll be running a little late for work tomorrow. Nothing. So I have mixed feelings on this whole 911 call from the other doctor, the boss from Florida. I'd like to know who reached out to him. If he was never reached out to by the office, now we got a problem, right? If he reached out to the office and said, hey, is so-and-so, let me talk to so-and-so, I've got a question. Oh, well, he hasn't made it in yet this morning. What do you mean he hasn't made it in yet this morning? Have you tried calling his house and his office? If it is him that was, that directed this, then I'm going to say we might have some more suspicion here than not, right? So I know that Jennifer Coffindoffer has a problem with this first call. I'll just leave it at that. We'll get through it.
Heck, I don't know.
Just know that he is he is always on time, and he would contact us if there is any issues whatsoever. And I just don't know how else to say this. We're very, very concerned because this is very out of character.
That's it right there. That's it right there. That's why I think he's calling. He knows something's wrong because this guy probably has never even been late in all the years he has worked at this office. So it's just that. Hey, Alicia, it's nice to see you, love. Glass Garden, it's nice to see you. This is local to me. Family members of mine is a work associate of them. The other doctor is not involved. He was very concerned because this is out of character for him. I believe that. I believe you. Glass Garden, I believe you. Because that's why I've been so mixed about this, is even at the beginning, I know it's concerning, but when you're in this type of, and not only that, we've had an experience here on this show. My mods can tell you about it. We got Sonia and the real Me Too. There was one day that I had a really, really, really bad day. I had my live up. I thought I canceled it. I went into the system. I deleted the live. Apparently, I didn't hit the one final button to fully delete it forever off the program. So it still showed that I was going live at 11 a.m. I never showed up. Because I had canceled it, I turned my phone off because I had a bad day. I didn't want to deal with anyone, right? So I thought I had deleted the live so everybody would know that the live was canceled, and I turned my phone off. I don't even remember when this was, guys. When was this? Like 2022, this was years ago. This wasn't anything recent. And they sent a wellness check to me. They sent my mods called for a wellness check for me because it was so out of character to set up a live and not show up. I was always on the computer. But during this time I was getting, trolled. It was just, people were following me. It was really a very bad and scary time for this. Yes. And they kept calling, and they knew that it was kind of a bad and scary time because people were following me out around this my town. They were following me to court. They were following me to this. They were following me. They had me literally under surveillance. It was the most unlawful, illegal thing any average person can do to another person. It was literally the definition of a felony, what they were doing to me, but it doesn't matter. Either way, it was a frustrating day, so I just decided to kick back and relax and watch TV and not think anything about it. And next thing I know, I get a knock at the door. And it's an officer saying, hey, ma'am, are you doing okay? Yes, sir. Well, your friends couldn't get a hold of you. I turned my phone off. Okay, well, they were a little concerned. Are you telling me that my mods called you? My mods never did that again. But you know what? I appreciate them, right? I appreciate them. Even though I was frustrated that day, I do appreciate my mom. I mean, they care, right? That was the thing. They were worried about me. They didn't know what had happened. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I can understand that. There was stuff going on in my life at the time. There wasn't anything going, but it was still out of character. They didn't know what to do. They didn't want to not act. I mean, we're in true crime, right? And when you see something, you say something because we're in true crime. We know that minutes and seconds happen, and God forbid if one of these crazy crackpots did break in here and off me, or hurt me or whatever, and I needed help, they would have been sending help. An officer would have been here. So, I mean, it's a double-edged sword, but I would always rather have the officer show up than not when an officer is needed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't, even though it was frustrating for me at the time, I would never act like that again. I just had a bad day and I was frustrated. And then that just, you know, was the straw that broke the camel's back that day. Oh, my mods are like, we don't want to remember. We appreciate you telling us the story. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, guys, let's get it. I had your mom call me once. She was worried about you. Oh, yeah. So maybe mom kicked them in the butt and got them calling because she wouldn't do it. Did mom sucker you into something? No, I'm just joking. So long story short, I can understand it. We've had it happen here from our own mods, you know. And again, this was years and years and years ago, and you know, I know that they would have never done it if they weren't truly worried for my safety. So, and at that time, it was a very concerning time on this show.
And we can't get in touch with his wife, which is probably the more concerning thing.
Okay, what's the emergency there? Please for medical.
And see, that's what I think it was. I think it was the fact that they probably have a very good working relationship, probably a very private and public relationship. You know, they probably have a relationship outside of the office, a platonic relationship outside of the office. And that doctor is probably very used to, whenever he can't get a hold of the husband, reaching out to the wife, and the wife immediately picks up because she's most likely a stay-at-home mom with a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, right? I don't know that to be true. She might have a job. But it seems like the highly suspect of all of this was the fact the wife didn't pick up the phone. Like, okay, we can understand he might be busy, he might be out, maybe we didn't realize he had something he had to do this morning, but the wife we know's home. The wife will pick up. And when she didn't pick up, that may have been the greatest concern. They're like, wait a minute. There is definitely something not right here. He's not picking up and she's not picking up. You know, I'm sorry. I have to trust people that know. Like, dispatch doesn't know people, right? The people calling in know those people. So I'm not going to sit there and say that I think this doctor is sus. Is it concerning? You know, in a sense it can be. But it's not there yet. It's something that we would want an explanation on, but I don't see how the doctor, if he's in Florida, could have harmed this man in Ohio unless he paid somebody to do it, which, again, that might be a possibility. But I really think that this was personal. This seems like somebody that had a lot of animosity toward the doc, okay? He sustained multiple gunshot wounds. She sustained one. There was a Columbus crime scene camera directly across the street. Crime camera. I love that. I guarantee that might be what helped discover this. I've also learned a little bit more. Let's just keep going with this. We got a few more calls to come in. This is almost done, and then we got 3 more.
Maybe both, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of doing the
We had a call out there. They knocked on the front door and back door multiple times, and there was no answer.
Yeah, no answer. I can hear kids inside, and I swear I think I heard one yell, but we can't get in. At this point, I don't know if I need to break the door in or...
So now they've got some employees from the office there, and they're hearing the kids inside the house. So this was confusing at like yesterday or the day before, but because they said, oh, there's a body on the second floor, and they're like, how did the guy that was one of the contentious things that Jennifer Coffindaffer had brought up, is like, why is how can the guy see a body on the second floor? I mean, without a ladder. I think he got into the house. It sounds like he made it into the house, not on this call. But you can tell he was shaken. You could hear the shake in his voice. I believe that. I don't believe that this guy wanted to find a coworker deceased. You could tell he seemed very shocked, authentically shocked. So we're going to get to that here in just a second.
Get in the house or what?
Okay, were you out there when the police was out there?
I wasn't. I just got here about 5 minutes ago.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll send him back out to you.
Our boss did not report to work. We haven't been able to get a hold of him for 3 hours. We are on site, and we can hear...
Okay, I just talked to somebody there.
Okay, I'm just making sure somebody called.
Okay, so it seems like multiple people from the office are now at their house. Okay, you guys see that? There's now multiple people at their house trying to figure out what's going on, and law enforcement, I'm sorry, law enforcement. This sounds like a few people need some training. What I'm hearing here is snarkiness. I will tell you, if I lived in Columbus, Ohio, I will thank you for your service, but I will definitely put you slap in your place. I pray to God that none of our dispatchers here in Manatee County act this way. We treat our people with respect on the phone, especially when they're calling in a concern. They seem like they were irritated, that they were bothered. I don't like that. I think that's unprofessional.
What's the location of your emergency?
1411 North 4th.
Okay, 1411 North 4th. We've got several calls on that. What's changed since the last person I talked to?
See, we got several calls on that. What's changed? Lady?
You'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
I'm not talking to you. Cancel. I did not say Siri. I said lady. But that, and now you've got that splattered all over the internet. That is not a good look for the dispatch. That is not a good, they seemed very rude. I'm not sure how you could be so rude and be a dispatcher. And that seemed like multiple people too. So if that's your standard of service there, Columbus, Ohio, you might get the stink of Bullhorn Betty. I don't know, man. I don't like this. I'm not really ready to come down on you guys like that. I hope that somebody higher up in the dispatch realizes this is rude. This is unprofessional. And I'm not saying fire the ladies, but it's time for some retraining. Because I'm telling you, if I am in Columbus, Ohio, and I get somebody that snarky, I'm going to cuss them out. All right? I'm going to put them slap dead in their place. And there needs to be some more of you guys out there. If you're from Columbus, Ohio, and you're being treated like this, you need to be reaching out to your sheriff and police departments and telling them you're not putting up with this shit. And you need to call them and say, this is an embarrassment. We pay good taxpayer money for these people to handle these calls professionally and ethically. And it seems to me that they didn't want to do their job. And we've got 2 bodies in a house with babies. Shame on you. Shame.
There's a body.
There's a body inside?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Yeah, because you assholes chose not to take it seriously. Let's not forget that. And I'm not going to play that on the officers, but the dispatch, y'all need better training.
Let me get you on the line with the medic, okay? Stay on the line.
There's a body. Our friend wasn't answering his phone. We just took a wellness check. We just came.
You can tell that man is very, very upset. And you know, this is what pisses me off about law enforcement is the laziness. People not taking stuff seriously, and we had babies inside a house the whole day without food, without water, and a whole entire office calling the police department, telling them, get out there, we need your help, something's going on. And every time they're treated with condescending tone. They're treated like, oh, you're disrupting, that you should not be calling, the dispatch line. That is rude. I don't know how in the world Columbus, Ohio is okay with that behavior on the phone. And we're going to make sure it's public all over it. And every time we bring this case up, from this point forward, we're going to talk about these people and their attitudes on these phones. No citizens deserve to be treated like this when they're calling for help. None. Do better. Do better, Columbus. How did the first cop that showed up not hear the kids? He just left. Exactly. He went and knocked on the door. He didn't even investigate. This is what's frustrating. This is some of the things that are frustrating. And you know what? This is what makes great law enforcement get a bad name. It's because of this. It's because of this. Always do your job above expectation. That's just what we expect. We don't expect you to do just enough. We want you to exceed our expectations. We're giving you retirement plans. We're giving you insurance. We're paying you a salary. We're giving you vacations. Show the public some damn respect, please. Show the public some damn respect. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking.
Hearing, he appears dead.
Okay.
There's blood. He's laying next to his bed, off of his bed, and there's blood.
So it sounds like it was a very gruesome scene. And he's hanging off the bed. The only other thing I would think of is if there's an adult child. Did she have another adult, with another person? I mean, they're 37 and 39 respectively, right? They've been married 5 years. So they didn't even really get married until he was 32 and she was 34. Now, granted, some people have children 18, 19, 20. They didn't take the call seriously. No, they did not. And not only that, but they made the people calling in feel like shit for calling in. Like, how dare you? It's like, I don't know what I would do, but I would not be happy. I would definitely be filing reports. If I lived in Columbus, I'd be pissed because this is your tax money at work right here. Okay? Nobody deserves to be treated like that. These people were begging for help. And dispatch, not law enforcement, dispatch. We're treating them like shit.
I can't get closer to see more than that.
Okay, so you can tell he's obviously not breathing or anything?
Yeah.
Is it like kind of like...
And then they get a man on the phone and he takes over and starts going through some stuff and he acts a lot more professional. So that must be the supervisor that finally started taking over because he had a hot mess express of a bunch of women that like to run their gums and make people feel like crap. I'm going to tell you right now, ladies, how would you feel if that was your loved one? I heard about Big Brothers.
Does he look like...
It doesn't look I can't look.
Okay. All right. I understand. Okay. And then when was the last time somebody spoke to him?
Yesterday, I suppose.
Yesterday? Okay.
Yeah.
How old is he?
37.
37. Okay. Is he like a drug user or anything like that?
No.
Okay. All right. Just since that's a really young age.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. All right. We're on our way.
And I believe that this is definitely a suspect. I don't see where law enforcement... I think that they already know who this guy is, in all fairness. If you really want to know my truth, I think that they already know who they're looking at as a person of interest and a suspect. I think putting this video out there is just trying to either get a name or confirm with somebody that might have more information to solidify the identity of the person. They may have a suspicion of who it is without having a confirmation, and therefore they're throwing this video out there to get that confirmation. Or it could be completely opposite. They may really truly not know who this person is, and that is very, very concerning that some strange person can break in the house in the middle of the night, which happens to be early morning, and kill two people and seemingly walk out. Now, he's walking slow, but is it because there was an altercation inside of the bedroom, or did somebody just come in and start popping off the gun and while they slept in the most vulnerable, because he's hanging off the bed according to what we just heard on the dispatch call. So it sounds like these people were suddenly attacked while they slept in bed. While they slept in bed. I'd be screaming to the top of my lungs. They may have, but I have a funny feeling that they live in he's a doctor, a prominent doctor. I would assume that he probably lives in a nice home. And usually nice homes are larger. They are more concrete, more soundproof so people don't hear. So it might be something where, virtually somebody didn't hear anything, or maybe there's some sound caught up on somebody's Ring doorbell camera. I mean, let's not forget the Idaho 4. There was a lot to be had about the noises heard and observed on the video versus just the video itself. I mean, there was a lot of stuff you couldn't see, but you could hear. Maybe that's something we're going to find out later. It sounds like they got a lot of digital evidence. They got some videos from the area. There might even be some video surveillance from that home. Betty, have you heard a woman from the address called 911? It was listed as a domestic dispute call. Yes, I did read about that. We've got a few things going on. It was a lady that called and hung up from the home, and nothing ever resulted from it. And I don't know what it was about, or if it was her that called, or if the domestic dispute was between her and her husband, or her and somebody else. You know, with it being domestic, was it, you know, an ex of some sort, or another child? You know, I don't know, but I did hear about the 911. Yes, I did hear about that. I just don't know what it means just yet. So here's what I've got. I've got a few leads. Let me put this back up on the screen. I do have a few leads. Where was I? Was I here? Which one was I on that shows maybe Lily and Jack? No, where the hell am I? There it is. I'll be on this one. All right, so here we go again. So here's the leads that I got. We hear that there was a witness that, and again, the only one that we've confirmed to be true is number 2. 1 and 3, we have no confirmation from reliable sources on. They are just leads that need to be worked, okay? So we're looking for any information. This channel here, okay, Bullhorn Betty. So if you are out researching this case or you come across information, 1 or 3 here, please send it to me. Okay, bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. The bill confirmed it wasn't Monique on the emergency call. So another lady. I don't know what that would mean, Skylar. Do you have an idea? They had a Ring doorbell on the front, but not sure of the back. And that's still, if somebody came through the back and knew that there was no Ring door, it still solidified, in my mind, that there's potential for this being somebody that they knew. Brother-in-law was live and said it was about another couple at the home, Betty, not about them. Is this like a duplex property or like a brownstone? Do we know? Let me look up the home. Hold on, let me take this back. Let me look up the address. Let's see what kind of home they live in. Maybe that'll clarify for us. Okay. We're at 411. So it must be a quadplex or something. Unless they're on the other side of the road. Let me see. Hold on. Let me just turn this around real quick. There's nothing on the other side of the road. Okay. Okay, so it's got to be... You know, I don't like this. Hold on a second, guys. Just give me a second. I don't like the way this is. Let me go to Google Earth. It looks like it takes a little while to put up. And all right, looks like we're up. So I'm going to have a little shakiness while I get this because it's still thinking. Okay. So it's this one here. So let's go. Why are they not taking me to the area? I don't know. It looks like they're in a single home. I don't know what the heck I was looking at on, this is the house right here. I'm not sure why I can't. Let me just see. I'm going to put this. Okay. So this is the intersection. So it looks like their house is this way. All right. No. You have a corner store here. But they're not telling me what properties are which properties. So we're at 4th and 8th. It showed single family homes. All right. This is a one-way road. And none of these houses have addresses on them. I've never seen something so freaking insane in my life. Let's see if I can go up here and look at their... Trying to see if the number's on here. So this says 1309. So, or 1390. Okay, so that's 1390. There are 4 of them. So you gotta be on the side of the road. I hate doing this. I'm not lying to you guys. This is driving me absolutely freaking insane. I hate this computer. Just doesn't want to work for us anymore. Okay, we're going in the right direction. Oh, good gracious. So we're at 10. Can I turn this around? I think this is their house here. I think this is their house. Now that says 19. Columbus 19. So maybe they are in this quadplex right here. I don't know. It seems like they're in a single family home. Maybe that one? That one's boarded up. Oh, this is August 15. They updated their photos in this community since 2015, and we heard it was a dilapidated community before it was fixed up. I just looked at it. These photos are from 2015. I think the house you're looking at right here with the vines on it or the blue, I think that one of those 2 properties are the house that they live in. It looks like one's a duplex and one's a single family home. Now, I can't be 100% on that. And I know that my YouTube is glitching right now. I apologize. I'm going to wait for it to try to unglitch. But it can't handle all of this stuff. Their home is new. Well, it's not new. Nothing in this area is new. Okay? They might have had a remodel of an old home, but nothing in this area is new. Okay? This is the fanciest house it's the fanciest house. Right, but this is a 2015 photo. We heard that this was a revitalized area. So this area has changed from what it once was. And these photos that you're seeing with all these vines on it, this was from did my sound just go out? It shouldn't have. What happened is I got a glitch. And now the glitch is finally catching up, is what happened. Can you guys hear me again? Because it's showing I've got volume. If it was a new build, well... Okay, it should be okay now. My yellow tape is off. So you guys should be able to hear me just fine. It may take about 20 seconds for you guys to realize you guys can hear me because we have a lag. Okay. Well, we're not going to see that on Google Earth. This is what Google Earth has for us. Something, we have a photo of from 2015 on Google Earth. So that was the problem. If they tore one of these houses down and rebuilt it, we're not going to know what their house looks like. This is what we've got. Actually, we got the photo. Hold on, let me look at the photo. We got a photo here. Hold on a second. Let me, this is where we're going to start glitching out, folks, because, when I start adding stuff, it doesn't like me adding stuff to this. This will be the house. So this is what their house looks like now. So it's definitely been revitalized in this area. It's been revitalized, but I think that's what their house looks like. It's not necessarily the nicest house on the block, but it is a very modern looking, newer rebuilt. Oh, sorry guys. If you're on vertical, I have not put you on vertical. Hold on here a second. Let me add this photo for you. There. So that's kind of the house right there. As you guys can see, it's modern looking. That's about as much as we're going to have for the house, you know? But it definitely is newer. You're right. It is newer. It's definitely not one of those. And it looks like it looks like they're on either side of a duplex potentially with the siding. They look similar, like they were. Agreed. Images are all over the internet, especially now. Yeah. I had them. I forgot I had pulled all this, and because I did a lot of work this morning on this case, just trying to understand what all happened and who they are, because I'm trying to identify a suspect, obviously. And right now I'm just identifying theories. I'm not really identifying any suspects. I'm identifying the theory of maybe an ex-lover. I'm identifying the theory of the disgruntled business partner. Or, you know, were they a victim of a crime? He's been part of the Boys and Girls Club, or, you know, Big Brothers. Is there something there? This seemed ultimately personal, but I feel like if it went out to like the Big Brothers program, this wouldn't have happened in his house. This would have happened on the streets. Like somebody would have just walked up to him and blasted him, right? and it would have just been the husband, not the wife. This seems to me this seems to me to be a matter of the heart. It seems like he's got multiple gunshot wounds in him, and she's got one to the chest. How did she get the one to the chest? Back detached garage, wooden privacy fence. Yeah. Betty, Zilla would have the new one. Ooh, you're right. Zilla would have the new one. You're right. Hold on, let me grab this phone number. I still think we're looking at the wrong property anyways. Let me see what we have here. Redfin. Yeah, it's almost 700. There we go. Thank you guys. It seems like it would just be natural and normal. There you guys have it. There's the house. There's the house. Let's look at this house. So we've got the main figure here. That's a nice modern house. It looks like they did a lot of they tore down all of that. They really did revitalize this area. I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts about that. That's a 2-story building. They have a privacy fence behind. This is kind of the layout of the first floor. And it looks like everybody would be upstairs. Beautiful home. Oh, it's gorgeous. This is upstairs, so you can see the stairs right through here. So this is upstairs. We don't know which room the kids were in, but it looks like that the kids would have been able to hear, and they would have been able to hear the kids. So there is that. Let's see if we got the backyard views. Here we go. They got a basement, y'all. Is that a basement? They got a basement. They've got a basement. So we've got a total that I can see. We got a total of 3 possible entry points into this home that I can see. I mean, obviously the windows are entry points, but main entry points like the front door, the back door, and then obviously we have a basement door here. Neighbors are very close in proximity. That's a good observation. For them not to hear anything, I don't know. I don't know if I can't imagine somebody not screaming. I mean, the husband he had multiple shots. The wife had one to the chest. So one of them would have had to have been screaming. I'd like to know where the wife was. We know where the husband was because the coworker described the husband. The coworker described the husband. Let's go back to how the coworker described the husband. Let's go back to how he described.
The body, our friend wasn't answering his phone. We just took a wellness check. We just couldn't hear him.
I think we... Okay, here it is. We can. Now that's when he could hear the children playing, and then another person called. Just here.
911. What's the location of your emergency?
1411 North 4th.
Okay, 1411 North 4th. We've got several calls on that. What's changed since the last person I talked to?
There's a body.
There's a body inside?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me get you on the line with the medic, okay? Stay on the line.
Oh, that guy was a medic, not a supervisor.
There's a body. Our friend wasn't answering his phone. We just took a wellness check. We just couldn't hear him. He appears dead.
Okay.
So he's on the phone with the medic. It sounds like they're in the house. I don't think they're outside of the house at this point. Somebody managed to get into that house. So how was the house found? Was any door unlocked? Was any door open? They're saying that there was no forced entry. But was there any door ajar or lifted?
There's blood.
No forced entry doesn't mean that they don't know how they entered. And the person who found him upstairs had to have walked by her body if she was elsewhere, potentially. Yeah, let's keep listening to this real quick. Let's listen to this. I want to hear where the body is positioned, because he never makes any mention of her, only him. So that's interesting. You guys hear that? This man it sounds like he's in the house. We don't know whether he's in the house or not. I have to assume, okay? I have to assume that he has made it inside the doors of the house. I don't know how. We need to find out. That's interesting. How did he get into the house? How did he gain access into the house?
He appears dead.
Okay.
There's blood. He's laying next to his bed, off of his bed, and there's blood.
He's leaning off of his bed, and there's blood. So he was in bed. He makes no mention of her. Where is she? Is she on the other side of the bed? Because I have to think, when we go into a room, you no matter what room you're in, whether it's a small room or a large room, you walk in, you see a bed. There's not a whole lot of wiggle room, and we're looking at this property. This property, I mean, it's a nice property, but it's no Taj Mahal, okay? So you're not looking at extravagant sized bedrooms in this home. I mean, it's only so wide, okay? So you walk in, you're immediately seeing what is right there in front of you. So I would have to assume if she's in the room, she has to be on the other side of the bed out of his view. And he's the only one being seen slumped over in the bed, the way it's being described here. He never talks about the lady one time in this. And I have to think that if he saw her, he'd be like, oh my God, she's gone too. I didn't hear any of that. We heard there's a body. We heard it's him, but not one time. So wherever her body is at this point in time, it's out of his view, in my opinion. Now, you guys may interpret it a little different, but I'm interpreting as it's out of his view.
I can't get closer to see more than that.
Okay, so you can tell he's obviously not breathing or anything?
Yeah.
Is it does he look like...
It doesn't look puddled. I can't look.
Okay, all right, I understand. Okay, and then when was the last time somebody...
He said there's a puddle, and he can't look.
He spoke to him...
yesterday, I suppose.
Yesterday? Okay.
Yeah.
How old is he?
37.
37, okay. Is he like a drug user or anything like that?
No.
Okay, all right. Just since that's a really young age.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, all right, we're on our way.
So they asked about drug use. The first thing that these officers are trained in is that this person would be more likely to be a drug or opioid user than a homicide suspect. That's pretty sad in Columbus, Ohio. Columbus, Ohio, you got a lot of work. You got a lot of work to do. There's no doubt about that. But at the end of the day, it's not that you guys expected to have a dentist or his wife murdered in their bed inside their home. She doesn't sound like she's in the bed unless she's covered up, and he's just so noticeable that they're not even looking any place else but him. They just turn their face so quickly that they didn't see it, because that's truly what happens. You go in there, you're like, oh, and you turn your head, and you just don't think of anything else. You just turn your back and you just walk the other way. You're not going to, you're done, right? It's bad. So that kind of sounds like the way this guy, he's like, I'm not looking, right? He tells the lady, I don't know, I'm not looking. It's bad. And that's what we're feeling in this call. It seemed like everybody in that thing. I'm very displeased with the dispatchers. I understand that they have a job to do and they need to cut through the noise and the BS and get right down to brass tacks. But I found their behavior and their bedside manner despicable. I'm sorry. This was multiple dispatchers conducting themselves, that means it's a training issue. You're training your dispatchers to be unkind and callous and rude. That is not acceptable in America. We expect professionalism from the people that answer that end of the phone. These people are calling for help. They're not calling to be lectured. They're not called to be treated like crap. They're calling for help. And I am disappointed that Columbus, Ohio does not understand that. If this is how you treat your citizens, you should all be fired. You should all be fired. I am so displeased in the handling. Like the guy that they sent, the EMS person or whoever they sent him to, very professional. Didn't make him feel like shit or anything. Didn't make anybody feel like crap, right? The very first dispatcher was very condescending to a boss that was concerned about his employee. Then we got I can't. Allegedly, they slept in separate bedrooms. I wonder how you heard that. Slept after 5 years of marriage. Well, they do have a 1-year-old child. Hey, Christine, thank you for subscribing. They do have a 1-year-old child. So there is that. If you guys are in the vertical chat and you guys have been subscribed for more than 20 minutes, come on over to the horizontal chat if you'd like to chat. We have you guys restricted on the vertical chat to 5 days, but over here on the regular chat, you can talk after 20 minutes. So just thought I'd let you throw that out there for you guys. I believe he was inside. They did ask 911 operator if he should break in, and after hearing the kids, I believe he probably did. Yeah, I think so. Or maybe one of the kids, the 4-year-old, finally unlocked the door for them, right? A 4-year-old, I think, understands how to unlock a door. I don't know what 4-year-old I've met that doesn't understand. Most of the time, we're putting little bally things on our doorknobs to make sure the little ninjas don't sneak out and end up finding a pond somewhere, right? So we put those little bally things on our door that irritate the crap if you just don't click it just right and turn it. You're sitting there cussing your damn door. Can't even open the door. Locked in. And let's not get started on those baby seats. I understand why we don't want babies in toilets. But I just want to say to some of you parents, some of us non-parents don't understand how to unlock the damn toilet, okay? I'm just saying. And when you gotta pee, you gotta pee. I'm just saying. You might want to put a little instruction there. Just saying. Betty, it's odd to call 911 immediately. Is it odd to call? Honestly, I think when you know something's not right and you get the gut feeling, I think you should call. I think normal people, when they know something's not right, they would rather want to feel like foolish for making a big deal out of nothing, right? But they would rather make a big deal out of nothing than find out it's a big deal and they didn't do anything. These people would have lived in that house a lot longer if it wasn't for their employees, the employees where her husband worked. Period. I truly believe they knew something was not right. They knew something was not right by 10. They're like, there's no way. Both of them not answering. They were all sitting around the office and saying, look, they knew. They knew something wasn't right. They all knew. The guy in Florida, visiting Florida that owns the office, he knew because he's worked with, and that's it. And these people again were a little condescending. I don't necessarily think. I think they should have reported. It wasn't necessary to make somebody feel stupid for calling law enforcement. Have you thought maybe he's just late for work? Yeah, of course I've thought about that. But he's been employed for the last 10 years and has never been late here. And every time I've ever called his wife, she always answers the phone. So he did say that in a nutshell by saying it's even more concerning his wife's not answering the phone too. They were truly concerned. I truly believe that had they not known these people to be so reliable, maybe they wouldn't have raised the alarm bells so quickly, but they did because they knew that there was something seriously wrong here and nobody was taking them seriously. And this is, again, some of the stuff I'm talking about with law enforcement, it does give us a sour taste in our mouth. But you guys have to understand, law enforcement's jobs are limited until there is a evidence of a crime, right? They can't go and bust down doors without extenuating circumstances. They can kick in a door. If they heard the kid, which again, you know, a guy going by and knocking on the door, not really like, oh yeah, you know, these people are just making a big deal out of it, because that's the sentiments I'm absolutely sure the dispatcher put in that officer. I'd like to hear the dispatch logs and how she communicated that first trip to that officer. I'd like to hear that. I'd like to hear that. I bet you I'm going to be pissed off again. I promise you. I have a funny feeling when I hear that call, her transmission from her to that officer to go out there, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be highly upset and offended by that one as well. If this is how the dispatch people handle their business on a recorded line, I'd love to hear how they handle their business when they think it's a waste of their time. This dispatch had already identified this was a waste of the officer's time before she even took the report. She actually tried to convince him not to give the report. Remember? She asked him, well, you know, he could just be late or whatever she said. You know, employees, what did she say? Employees don't show up all the time, you know, or something to that effect. I can't remember exactly what she said. Oh, well, let's go back and listen to it. Right here. Right here. It's this one right here. Let's listen to how she handled it.
Yes, I would like to ask for a wellness check on an individual at their home.
And you know what? Because she acted this way, this may be the reason why Jennifer Coffindaffer thought this was so odd. Right? Because I wasn't thinking that when I first heard this call. I wasn't thinking this until after I read the comments from Jennifer Coffindaffer. And then I'm like, maybe.
This individual, Spencer, works with me, and he did not show up to work this morning, and we cannot get a hold of him or his family.
He didn't show up to work?
Correct.
Okay. Does he have medical problems or?
No, and he's been reliable, and we cannot get in touch with him, his wife, his family, anybody that lives in that house.
Okay. So
There's
you're
two
in
kids in
Florida.
the home. I'm in Florida. I own the business.
I think he was trying to create the urgency with the children. I think he was letting them know that there's children that need to be accounted for as well. I think he was trying to create the urgency. I don't see it being, now that I hear it, I just don't see it being suspicious. I just don't. But, I mean, I could be wrong, but so far, nothing that I can.
I was informed by my employees that he was not at work, and he runs the office. Have you guys received anything else, like calls about him or like a car accident or anything like that?
No, sometimes people just don't show up to work. I mean, maybe he's sick, I don't know.
Just know that he is the most, like, he is always on time, and he was kind.
Yeah, she was like, sometimes people just don't show up for work. Like she did. I don't think she really wanted to take this this call. I don't like it. I don't like the dispatchers, and if this is how they handle their business there, I think that they need training. I really do. Just my personal opinion. If you folks from Columbus, Ohio are okay with that handling of those calls, then, you know, that's you're paying for it, okay? I'm going to make sure that we're not paying for it. Hopefully they're not getting federal funds, right? But if you're okay with that, you be okay with that. I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with how they were not overboard. That's why I say they don't need to be fired. I think retraining is in order for dispatch over in Columbus. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let me get back to my sheet here and make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, yeah, I wanted to go through some of the leads that I've got. So here's a couple things that I need you guys to be looking for. If you guys hear it, send it to me. So we're hearing that there is a possible, now this is all alleged. I have no sources. I did a lot of research. I went around a lot of rabbit holes. These may be phantom statements. but they were statements that I want to clear. So if they're phantom statements, I want to find out that they're phantom statements. So a witness states that they saw Spencer and his wife speaking quietly with someone outside the door, lasting about 30 minutes. Did they have a conversation? If so, with whom? Okay. Now, if you guys hear anything, if you guys are reading any type of Facebook post and somebody is talking about them having a conversation with a neighbor or somebody else, or you start hearing more, send that stuff over to bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. County runs 911 centers in Nebraska. They run our dispatches ran by Manatee County. And maybe I need to listen to our dispatch. I pray to God none of our dispatched people are acting like that. But if they are, then I'm going to demand training. If you're in Manatee County and you have poor services here in Manatee County, you reach out to Bullhorn Betty. Tell me what's happened, and I'll pull the public records. Nobody's going to tell me no here. I promise you that. I mean, they might. They if they do, then we'll just have to go to Plan B, and that's just finding one of my attorneys here that's going to bring a lawsuit against the county. Which there's a lot of pissed off attorneys here that would be happy to bring a lawsuit against this county. So, I don't know. I hope our dispatch here in Manatee County doesn't act like this. It seemed inappropriate for me. I mean, am I wrong on that? Maybe I'm being too, Betty, I guess, let's follow the money. Are the kids entitled to any survivor benefits, inheritance, GoFundMe accounts? There are some, yes. Yes. But I don't know if this is, follow the money. See, I'm thinking this is personal, a matter of heart, but the other would be the optics of who's the beneficiary of some stuff. Who would benefit from this? I don't know who would benefit from this. We know that he seems like he's a key employee. Did he have key employee insurance at work? Was work having financial we have to look at two avenues here because we don't know what happened. I don't believe it's stranger danger. It was too clean. The person walked away with nothing. I didn't see, they've never reported anything of value missing from the house. They didn't report this as a burglary. They reported this as a homicide. So that means 2 people are dead and nothing is missing. That's personal. That's personal. Yeah, I agree. Very snarky. But that's personal. I don't know. I'm rolling my dice. This feels so... resentful? I don't know. It just feels so personal, and they've only been married for 5 years. Like they're still, basically newlyweds at this point. 5 years is not long. And they had their first child within a year of their marriage, when he said they couldn't reach him, his wife, any family that lived in the home. Could that be that a family member could have been staying with them temporarily, just the way he worded? Yeah, and I was thinking about that too, Skylar. A fair point to make. But I also thought that's why he clarified with the kids being in the house, that he was, referring to the kids. He never said anybody else. He said, but it was shortly after that he says the kids, and I can't tell if that's because they're trying to raise the urgency level of law enforcement to take this seriously. Or like you said, like I even said, when we see stuff like this, we're looking at, other ex-partners or, other family members, like a son. And I even brought that up. Did she have any other children, from a prior relationship before this marriage? Or he, for that matter? Did either of them have that? There's that angle too. But could it be something like a sibling or somebody like that would benefit? I don't know. It just doesn't, it seems highly unlikely, but I mean, who knows? You never know what goes on with somebody's family, or, who they no longer talk to or want anything to do with. I think the police know who it is. They've said not neighborhood related and not a robbery. It was a planned incident. How could they rule out neighborhood if they didn't? Yeah. And that's what I was Glass Garden. That's kind of like where I was going with this when I saw the image of this person walking. I felt like one of two things was going on here. They truly just didn't know the identity of the person and needed the public's help, or they had an idea who it may be, but wanted to throw the picture out there so they could get more solid evidence against that person. Like, I recognize the walk, or I recognize that jacket he has on. It's this jacket. I bought it for him, or something to that respect. But it could be very, very much like the Rachel Morin case, where they have an idea who, they had a DNA profile but didn't know who it was, and put, some images out to help find or locate the person. And it still took them almost another 9 months after that to locate the person. I think they located the person in Arkansas or something like that for Rachel Morin. They found 3 casings, no weapons. Spencer has a pew-pew, 5-time, and Monique. They didn't say how many times. Every report I read this morning said multiple shots, and a single shot for Monique in the chest. That's what. But I haven't came across an article that specifies the amount of bullet wounds in Spencer. Only Monique. She was the one that they said a single shot to the chest. I was thinking the same thing, but allegedly the shooter left a bullet casing behind. Well, then, if they brought that gun, the bullet casing very well may have a fingerprint or some DNA on it. And if it's a bullet casing, that means they were using a semi-automatic gun instead of a revolver. So that's kind of helping us out a little bit, If we have a spent shell casing, then there's 3 of them. We're dealing with a pistol. We're dealing with a semi-automatic versus the revolver, like I said, because the revolver, the casings would have stayed inside the revolver. You would only have the bullet or bullet fragments to test. And I keep wanting to know, did the guy fight? Because the guy was walking a little slow, and I was wondering if that was because of a brutal fight, and he had his hands in his pocket, and it might have been to cover a weapon or cover blood or other evidence that he had just done something horrible. Brother-in-law claimed it was a hit and then dismissed the footage of a potential witness as a drunk person stumbling home. I've been hearing that the family's not agreeing a whole lot with law enforcement with this, and it makes me wonder why, how the family is, obviously was not there at the time, and could be arguing with the footage that they're uncovering in their investigation, And if they say it was a hit, then if it was a hit, then they should know who ordered the hit. And why would it be ordered? Who would want to execute them? So if the family is adamant that they know that this was a hit, then they know why. So if brother-in-law is out here running his gums, he needs to open his mouth and explain why. Because that's a lot of issues. And Social Friend, if you can send me, because I'm sure you've read this through an article or something, if you don't mind sending me an article, bullhornbetty@gmail.com, I greatly appreciate it. I'd like to read it just to have a good understanding of what it says and the context everything's laid out in. I'd greatly appreciate that. But yeah, I don't know. Obviously this family knows something the rest of us do not know. So hopefully they're sharing that with law enforcement. Those are the people that they need to share it with. I'm very thankful if they are, giving us some insight into the case that they are, because they're probably just wanting to make sure everything is covered. If they're family members and they're going against some of the law enforcement, what law enforcement statements are, maybe they're putting it out there so social media will pick up the ball and start investigating this case and finding out if their thought process, holds water. And if it does, I think it would behoove them, even privately, if they want somebody to look into that aspect or to give them a second opinion, they're gonna have to explain why they think this was a hit, And maybe they're not prepared to do that right now. Maybe it goes to the integrity of the investigation and law enforcement asks them not to do it, and they're not prepared to do that right now. And that's understandable. I understand that. But I would think the brother-in-law would want to find the person, though. I would agree. I would agree. But if they're in conflict with the findings of law enforcement so far, you got to remember, Kaylee Gonzalez's family was also in conflict with the findings at first, with Brian Koberger. They thought it was too quick. They didn't know any of the evidence against them. They were very unclear on why he would do this. They thought that they rushed, and he was the guy. And so the family for a good long time was feuding with the prosecuting attorney. And it was because they weren't explaining to the family what was going on. And they didn't know if law enforcement was spot on or not. That could very well be the situation here. Just in my opinion, I don't know any of these people. So, it could be a drunk person or anybody for that matter. Yeah, it could be, but I think law enforcement has it honed in because a lot of family doesn't realize, even though, because this is their first time dealing with true crime because it affected their life this time, and they don't have the experience or the knowledge that we've had covering this for a long time. We know that law enforcement typically, when they put out a video like this, even like Tyler Robinson in Charlie Kirk's assassination, they put this out there, and this could have been any other kid, right, walking to their campus, but they identified him. And why did they identify him? Because they had other footage where he was in other places that were looking odd, right? And so they knew that he was the one that they were looking for. I think this is similar to that, but maybe this family doesn't know how police do, or maybe they just know that that they're coming up with a whole bunch of stuff and they know kind of who the person is. They know that this person really had a problem with their brother-in-law or whatever the case may be. Let me open this up just a little bit more. There we go. I got my, okay, perfect. Sorry, I didn't like it cutting off my half my body over here. And I don't know, guys. I'm trying to understand this, and I'm trying to be and think as much out of the box as possible when it comes to that, or why the family wouldn't don't think that is somebody. I'm just not sure. And what part of the family is saying that? Is it his side of the family or is it her side of the family? I don't believe a hit. I'm kind, it's just, does stuff like this happen? Do people go online and find, of course they do. We've watched even just in the last year, that one guy that covers the paranormal stuff, his wife was trying to get him, and she got busted because she reached out to somebody and set it all up. And the person she set it up with was an undercover officer. And she was ready to go. And these women are so vindictive and so bitter that some of them are hiring people to take out their husbands, and vice versa. I shouldn't throw it all out on the women. There are just some nasty men that just don't want to get a divorce. They're so greedy and so narcissistic that they would rather unalive their children's mother than pay her a monthly fee, So it goes back and forth. And not only that, but you have parents killing their children and children killing their parents. And, it's a hot mess express. People need love in their heart. They need guidance people have entirely too much hate. They really do. And I can understand. Life sucks some days, right? 1 minute your life is going great, and then the next minute somebody snatches the rug out from under you, and you're just face first in a whole bunch of BS, right? So I get it, but I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with it. I feel like this is somebody that they know. Like, no. Like, I feel like this is an ex of hers. Like, I feel like this goes back. I don't know why I keep going toward an ex. Probably because our history and, true crime and everything like that. And the fact that they've been only married for 5 years. And, I can see where somebody, I don't know. Maybe that's my own, maybe the reason subconsciously I had once upon a time had I'm just saying, I had a broken heart. Years later, I was still like, no, I'm just joking. I don't know who could have done this. That person appeared to be very mature. That person appeared to be very mature. The person that they're identifying, and even if it is just a drunk, let's just say the guy is a drunk and not a suspect. He may have seen something. Come on. He may have heard something. He may have saw a car. He may have saw a gun. He may know the person, right? We don't know what the situation is. And you know what? Every time I put you up here, you start begging to come up here more and more and more. And you're getting awfully comfortable, just kind of chilling in my lap. I'm just saying. Look at her. She's just like, okay, I'm here. Don't move me. Don't breathe. Don't breathe. Don't breathe, mommy. Let me see if I pull this up just a little bit so you guys can see her little head. Oh, I can't do it. I'm down one hand. I was going to stretch it out a little bit more, but I can't because my hands, she's got my hand. The third person that called the woman said they're trying to reach the dock for 3 hours. How did she know he was missing for 3 hours when the office opens at 8? They called at 9, and this was at 10. Maybe he's accustomed to being there at 7? Potentially? I don't know. It seems like a crime of passion. I'm not really looking at the angle that all these people from his office had it out for him. It seems to me that the people at his office really, really, really cared for him. And I know that we don't understand, and maybe some people are misspeaking. I'm sure it was a very stressful situation for everybody. They knew something was wrong, and nobody was taking them seriously. So, and I think that, being at that house and hearing those babies inside the house, I can't imagine what kind, what they were all going through, what they were all thinking and stuff like that. And I know when things are very stressful for me, I misspeak all the time. Even covering these cases, I'll go back and listen, and I'll say something like September 2025, and it was June 2025. I'm like, and I swear I thought I said June when I was speaking, but clearly I did not. So I think under stress, jealous, it's such a jealous co-host. I know she is. She's just trying to get her clicks and views. She's grifting. She's a grifter. What can I say? I got a grifting dog. She's a grifter. Let me. Isn't that what all the hate channels call all the cuteness? Grift? Yeah, she's a grifter. Look at that grift. She's like, oh, guess what I get to do today? Guess what I get to do today? She's such a good little girl. Don't start moving now. Little girl. Oh, the baby. She's so spoiled. She will be with us. In Tennessee. When I come to Tennessee, she will be with us. She's not a lap dog. She's just a Betty dog. As long as I'm touching her, like the only reason why she whimpers in the car is because she's got to sit in the seat by herself. No, you're done. Go. Yep. That cute face ain't working right now. We're getting off. I'll go play with you oh, it's 11. All right, guys. Well, it's 11 o'clock. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. I'm going to dive into this case a little bit deeper. I got a lot of great information. Let me see what else we've got here. Oh, we have another thing that I need you guys to look for. I was hearing rumors that there was a note left at Spencer's job. I don't know if this is true. This is, again, a rumor that we need to it either holds water or it doesn't hold water. And we're hearing that this note left in his desk drawer or somewhere, stating that Spencer, was there a note left behind at the dental practice, or is this just a rumor? It is stated that Spencer authored the letter that might describe being stalked or concerned about fear and pressure. I found that statement to be interesting. So as you guys are researching, there's two things I need you guys to pay attention to if you hear it. So if you hear anything related to them speaking to a witness that night, send that to me at Bullhorn Betty. If you hear of anything about a letter that Spencer authored at work, send that to me. Okay, these are two critical lead areas that I am investigating right now to find out whether they are true or not. Oh, the ballroom! I did pull that. And we never even went over the other stuff that I was doing either. Which one was it? I think I got yours up here. Did I get yours up here? No. I definitely did pull it, but I guess I didn't pull it up for the show. And it's basically saying we got a lot of stuff we didn't go over already because we had such a conversation. I wanted to get you guys snuffed. You know, we're going to do this. Let's go ahead. We're not closing out the show right now. We're not closing out the show. This is their wedding. I got so much stuff to show you guys. So much stuff that I found this morning. I thought this was beautiful. I think I'll turn the music on for a little bit. I'm not going to listen to it all the way through. They were married January 30th, 2021. There she is. So I'm going to keep the music off. I don't know if it's there. Oh, she's beautiful. She's got beautiful brown eyes. There he is. I don't know if the music's copyrighted or not. And we're here more for the image. Oh, beautiful, handsome dog. That's in front of their house. Beautiful photos. That's in their backyard. I saw all these photos and I didn't realize that when I pulled them. So, hey Strawberry, it's nice to see you. I'm gonna message my niece about the letter. She has a contact with his associates. Well, that'd be great. Yeah, and I'll keep things confidential. If you don't want names, I don't do names. Just let me know. I don't. If you want credit, I give you credit. If you don't, I don't. But I'd like the information just for my knowledge. Look at that. That's beautiful. Aw, look at this. She was beautiful. She was absolutely beautiful. That's their wedding. Oh, they had such a sweet private wedding. Aww. Oh my gosh. They seem like they had Very private ceremony. It seems like at their house instead of an event. So tells me a lot about who they are as people because they didn't go all out on their wedding. They had a gorgeous wedding. They looked amazing. And they looked like they were in their house when they got married. Oh my gosh, I love that. That seems so sweet and quaint. That dog is a doodle. Yeah, I know. Gorgeous, huh? Gorgeous. They made a very cute couple. They did. You could just see that they're incredibly. There are just some people like Olivia. You can look at Olivia from a mile away and see she is just a sweet girl. Okay, just like you can look at this lady here and just tell that she is just a sweet, amazing person. I don't think that this lady even has a bad bone in her body. You know, some women have, a mean streak. I got a mean streak. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? But you can look at me and probably figure out in 5 seconds I got a mean streak, right? Yeah, it's less expensive, but it tells me a lot about their character as people, saving money here, being happy, not being broke, not going into debt for their wedding. This tells me that they're very smart. They're very financially savvy. It just tells me a lot about them. This one action alone just tells me so much about them. So just a very, very happy, loving couple giving their vows. I just can't believe it. It's gorgeous. And so I will come over here and give you guys kind of, that's for the 911 call. We pulled the 911 call. It wasn't the one I wanted. So let me see where else we were at. I found his old social medias, but as you can see, by the time I got to him, these posts are already protected. I did find some information out in Facebook. I went through Facebook this morning and kind of really went through a lot of the stuff and seeing this. This looks like an older person. It doesn't look like a young guy walking down the road. And quite frankly, I'm not seeing a stumbling drunk, okay? I've seen many drunks walk. I'm a professional drunk myself. And I can tell you, he's walking pretty damn straight for being a drunk. Just saying. If I was so lucky. I'm just saying, if I was so lucky, right? If I was so lucky. So I just asked her. She said she hasn't heard that before about the note. She thinks if it were true, then she would have heard about it. Perfect. Like I said, there's just some things that I wanted to keep an eye out for because there were things that I read that like, ooh, this might be interesting if true. So I'd like to get more information. And trust me, if something is relevant, it will start showing itself. You will start having more things start revealing itself. So that's why I put that stuff out there. And when people come across it, that they'll know Betty was looking for this and send it right to me. So if it's not true, it's not true. We want only information, but I'm just now diving into this case. This case, we're already behind this case, 8 to 9 days from where we were. Oh, looky. Thank you, Miss Robin, because I'm a love machine. Ow! Strawberry, welcome to this crazy family, which you've been a part of for a long time. Crazy family, but it's official. Crazy family. I.e. the coffee club. Grab your straight jacket and your padded room and welcome aboard. Find your bedroom. Screwed that all up. But that's for you, Strawberry, right?
All I can say is it's totally fake news. Just fake. It's fake news.
You can slap me later. Strawberry. Well, welcome. You're official. Gorgeous lady, heck, a beautiful family, man. These kids, it's killing me. These people are so young. And it brings me back, we don't know whether they're children or, I've seen pictures. I think we got a boy and a girl. I think the boy's baby and the girl's older. So we got a 4-year-old girl and potentially a 1-year-old boy. If I remember, if I looked at those photos right. So is it possible we have kind of a devil's den type of situation here? I don't know. don't know. I don't think so. Does anybody... Oh, perfect. I appreciate it. Let's get... I've got another video here. Let's see what this... No, it's not that one. It's this one. Yeah, let's see what this one has to say.
On scene, were able to gain entry into the residence, and inside they located 2 adults deceased inside, an adult male and an adult female. Both of them appear to be suffering from gunshot wounds. There was also 2 very young kids inside the residence who were unharmed. Those kids are here with our officers. We have a few other individuals who are in the area, just holding on to them so our detectives can speak to them. Homicide detectives are currently on scene, going to be processing through everything.
They had some people, did you guys hear that? Some people already in the area that they've got to question, just because they were in the area at the time all this started transpiring. So they already have some people detained, it sounds like, at this point, or speaking to people. Let's go back and listen to what he says about that.
On scene, were able to gain entry into the residence, and inside they located 2 adults deceased inside, an adult male and an adult female. Both of them appear to be suffering from gunshot wounds. There was also 2 very young kids inside the residence who were unharmed. Those kids are here with our officers. We have a few other individuals who are in the area, just holding on to them so our detectives can speak to them. Homicide detectives are currently on scene, going to be processing through everything to determine. At this time, we have no indication that this is a murder-suicide. So that's something that we're working through to determine if it's something like that or if it is truly a double homicide.
Well, we now know that was at the beginning. This is truly a double homicide. I also want to hear just a few moments here. Let me just get past the intro that he always has. Takes a little second to get everything up to snuff. When I start bringing these up, it lags the system, so so bear with me.
House has a detached garage in the rear, which faces an alley. Now moving to the timeline of the crime. On December 30, 2025, Spencer Tepe failed to show up at work, prompting his coworkers to contact the police at 8:58 a.m. for a welfare check. At 9:22 a.m., the police arrived at the Tepe family home on
9:22, so that was almost a half an hour later.
North 4th Street. After not getting an answer at the front door or the back door, the officers left. About a half hour later, colleagues and a friend arrived at the house. A man called 911 at 9:56 a.m. and said he could hear children inside the house and thought he heard one of them yell. The caller continued by saying, quote, "But we can't get in. At this point, I don't know if I need to break the door in to get in the house."
So this is a critical, sorry guys, it's going to get a little hairy and I might lose my volume like we did last time. Give it a second while it works through. It's going to take about 20 seconds to work through this. Guy reminds me, hold on here. Guy reminds me of the dude that was walking across the high. Oh my gosh, you were right. It gives you that creep vibe. It does give you that creep vibe. Yeah, I think you might be right, Veronica. It does kind of give you creep. But I was just thinking about something that I didn't previously think about when it came. He just said something that made me think about something. Let me listen to this again.
And thought he heard one of them yell. The caller continued by saying, quote, "But we can't get in."
That's it. That's it. They couldn't get in. All the doors were locked. I know. Well, I mean, if the kids weren't up, I mean, it just seems like they weren't paying attention. That's what it seems like to me. I still have a yellow band, so it sounds like I'm still I'm dealing with a YouTube that isn't working. You guys are experiencing some technical difficulties on your end, and we'll be experiencing some buffering, so I apologize about that in advance. Hey, JH, it's nice to see you. So here goes the glitches. Yep, here goes the glitches. Sorry about that. Give me a second. We'll get through it. Hopefully we'll get through it. I think it's because I got so much stuff running behind the scenes. Let me see if I can close some of this stuff out. I'm not going to let me close anything out without... No, I didn't want all that up there. I don't need this. I was going to go over the situation here in Manatee County, but honestly, I really don't need to go over that. We've had already such a full show so far. Okay, we still have him. All right, let's get back to this. We should be okay with the glitches now.
At this point, I don't know if I need to break the door in to get in the house or what, unquote.
All doors were locked. That's concerning for me. They were at the property. How did they get in? Did they get in through the front, or did they cross over the gate and go through the back? And if they went through the back, was any of the doors unlocked? If all the doors were locked in that house, folks, somebody has a key to their house. So they were outside looking through the windows. It sounds like it.
The police were dispatched back to the house. At 10:03 a.m., prior to the police arriving, a friend who came by the family house called 911 with a troubling update. He said, quote, "There's a body. Our friend wasn't answering his phone. We just did a wellness check. We just came here, and he appears dead. He's laying next to his bed, off of his bed, in this blood. I can't get closer to see more than that," unquote. The police arrived 1 minute later at 10:04 a.m. They found both Spencer and Monique dead in an upstairs bedroom. Spencer had been shot multiple times.
So they were both in an upstairs bedroom. So she was in that bedroom. They did not see her when they came in, or it was just so obvious that there was so much trauma with Spencer that's all their eyes could see. And it does happen just like that. That's, when you're in a shock mode, you see them. You don't see anything else. Okay? So it very, very well an egress. They were on the second floor. I don't know if they could have, that's a tall building. I don't know if they could get in there without a ladder. It seems more likely that they climbed over the back fence and found a door or a back window unlocked. But for them to say that there's no forced entry, I guess that would be accurate, because we know that they had to enter, but there was no forced entry. That means that there was no broken window or kicked in door. But it doesn't mean that they didn't have a key or didn't have an unlocked window or door. And if they did, they didn't tell us where this person allegedly entered from, or where he could have potentially exited out of. But it was talking about an alley, so I would presume that he was on the back side of their house, not on the front side of their house. And as far as the family's concerned, I would have to believe that this guy is a serious contender as a suspect, because with all of the Ring doorbell camera footage that must have been there, they've had to have received and reviewed a good, healthy portion of that. There's some really nice homes there. You cannot tell me that those homes did not have cameras in this day and age of 2025 when you're selling houses for $700,000. Those people have money for some pretty good security systems and security cameras. In this day and age, most people prefer having security cameras around their house. Once upon a time, we would have only loved to have security cameras around our house, but it was so ungodly expensive that many people could only afford an alarm system, because they would rather pay $50 or $70 or $100 a month for services versus having to spend all this money to equip their home. And when you, and you know, ADT and all these other places up until recently, but there's products are now like portable. So you can take them from one house to the other versus having to leave all the equipment behind. And that was the thing. And why they gave you free installation with a 2 or 3 year contract was because that stuff costs lots of money, but they recoup that money with those contract prices. And it was a level playing field. But now they have so many things like Simply Safe and stuff like that you can take off and take with you to your next house. They don't have to be, attached to that home for forever. So there is that. I don't know. I just feel like they would have had some really good footage, and this was probably some footage that they could show grainy and maybe get some leads from it. I feel like they may have an idea who it is, but they need concrete proof that it is that person, and I think that's why they sent this out. But again, we don't know. We don't know what they're doing. We are only assuming based on our experience in past cases.
Monique had been shot at least one time in the chest. They were pronounced dead at 10:11 a.m. The couple's 4-year-old daughter and 1-year-old son were unharmed, at least physically. The family dog, a golden doodle, was also unharmed. The police were able to determine that neither Spencer nor Monique was the shooter. So this was not a case where one of them killed the other before bringing an end to their own life. An intruder must have shot both of them to death. Spent 9mm cases were found at the scene, suggesting the killer used a semi-automatic pistol. The murder weapon was not located. There was no forced entry into the couple's house. A surveillance camera captured an image of a person walking.
This looks like somebody injured. He's injured. He got injured. That's how they know this is him. That's how they know this is him. There's some evidence in the house of whatever injury he's observed here. I don't know why I didn't pick that up. Let me look at this walk again.
The couple's house. A surveillance camera captured an image of a person walking in an alley near the Tepe family home.
I don't know. That person looks like they've been hurt. They're walking. It's a very unique walk.
The police indicated this individual is a person of interest.
He's not having the walk on this side. He's having the walk on that side. Wait a minute. He's walking differently, so something either adjusted on him. He's walking with something right here.
Of a person walking in an alley near the Tepe family home. The police indicated this individual
normally right
is
about
a person
here.
of interest. The mysterious figure appears to be a man.
He seems like he's got something wrong with this leg. Let me go back and look. There's something with his walk. And see how they have the lines through this? I feel like this video has been altered by law enforcement before release. Because this has a whole bunch of weird lines in it. It's not pixelated. And there's no lines anywhere else on this video footage except on him. There's these lines. I don't know. I think they have a clearer picture of who this is. I mean, look how clear the car is. Look how clear the car window is. Look how clear those trash cans are. Look how clear that snow is. Now look at the guy. He's blurry. Do you guys see that? I think this video is clearer. I think law enforcement manipulated his image, put something through him so we couldn't enhance it. That's what law enforcement manipulated this video. Am I not having sound again? What's going on with my sound? My sound seems to be fine on this end. Yeah, I just zoomed in and they smudged him out. Okay, so you guys can see. You guys can't hear me. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I feel like they've messed with this video, because I'm looking at this and I can see very clearly a garbage can. I can see clearly every single thing on this video, but when you get to the individual, there are lines through it. He is being smudged or something to get his height. To get his height? No. This looks like they zigzagged him. It looks like somebody went like this with a smudge tool all the way up. They even did it like all his feet, his legs, everything. It's like they put like something over him. They have some feature to gray him out. It has to be a feature to keep us from enhancing the footage released from law enforcement, and why they don't like other people releasing the footage, because they do things to the footage so we can't figure out things. I truly believe. If somebody knows whose footage this is, and if they want to send it to me, they can send it to bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. If law enforcement doesn't want it released to the public, I won't release it to the public. I'll modify it myself, but I want to see it. I want to see it if I can. If I can get my hands on this, the legitimate footage of this, I would be greatly, I'd be happy.
An image of a person walking.
Look at it. He's the only one that's waffly. Like he's got woo-woo. He look, I mean, it doesn't make sense. I'm sorry, it just doesn't make sense. They've had to have. I'm law enforcement had to have done something to this image, to the walking image. They had to have. I just don't see it any other way. There's a clearer video out there. Contact Justin. He'll show you. Okay. I think they know. They just want more to build the case. That's what I'm thinking. Because this is so personal. I mean, nobody's just going to go into a house and execute 2 people. Okay? Think about it. You got to have a reason. Nobody's just going to do it. And if it was mental illness, then you're going to have somebody that acts mentally ill. Okay? They're not going to be able to sneak into a home. They're going to break into a home. There's going to be forced entry. We don't have any of that here. This is ultra personal. We need to find somebody who had a hatred for the man and the woman. And if it was somebody unknown to them, he would have just killed the husband. So this is somebody that was known to them, without a doubt.
Alley near the Tepe family home, the police indicated this individual is a person of interest.
Because you see where it got to a frame, that ziggy-zag left. They modified this. Law enforcement did that. I'm telling you, law enforcement did that. Let me see if I can get it stopped right in the right spot. Right there. See? They didn't get this frame. They didn't get this frame right here. And see, no more waffly. They seen that dude's face. They seen that dude's face coming. I guarantee it. This is lit enough. This is clear enough. They could have enhanced that. This is clear enough they could enhance that. This is clear enough they could enhance that. I'm looking at that. That right there is a crystal clear image. They forgot to put the little thing on that they put on there. He's limping there. That's what he injured himself somehow. Now, whether he injured himself leading up to this and he just went ahead and carried this out or what. But then not limping. Yeah. I'm not saying I agree, but some are speculating the brother-in-law. He has some questionable posts and discussion. Glass Garden, can you send me who the brother-in-law is? I did see the cousin, a cousin's post. We have, who's the cousin? And it's his cousin, and her name is Audrey. And so I've identified Audrey, but I don't know of the brother-in-law jumping from a high window. Ooh, that would do it. Because that was kind of the limp we did see a little bit with, what's his face? Tyler Robinson from jumping off that building. Yeah, that is possible. I wonder if they had any windows open. If he went out a window, that would explain, well, unless the windows are all locked. But if he went out the window, that would explain why all the doors could have been locked. They could have been without somebody having a key. They could have had an unlocked door, got in there, committed the homicides, locked all the doors, and left out a window. I could see that being a possibility, and it wouldn't show any forced entry. I mean, obviously this person had an entry and exit point, but it wasn't forced. It wasn't forced.
Police indicated this individual is a person of interest. The mysterious figure appears to be a man.
And that's a smudge. They smudged this.
The mysterious figure.
That smudge there. This right here is a smudge.
The Tepe family home.
That's a smudge.
The police indicated this individual is a person of interest.
Oh no, it could be
the mysterious.
It's either a smudge or some type of tree or foliage that's just very, covering just a little bit of the camera lens. It's either a smudge or something. But see how the zigs are gone on this side when his face isn't there? When his face isn't there, we have no zigs. You guys see that? Law enforcement modified this video. Oh, let me get my head out of the way. Wrong way. You guys see that? No ziggies. No ziggies on him. But his head's cut off in this thing. Now all the ziggies are gone. They have this man's face. I guarantee it. I guarantee they have this man's face. We just got hit again with I'm going to go ahead and close this portion out and go back to my breaking news so it doesn't, this thing hits every now and again with a wonky over whatever. It's because wonder if you can get in house from the outside basement. Yeah, yeah, you can. They have a door to it, and they were talking about the basement. I have never found a basement that's on top of a house. Now, I've seen basements that were next to the house. Like in Oklahoma, they didn't have. I've seen basements that the entry to the basement was next to the house. It wasn't attached to the house. The attachment, well, it was kind of, but it was next to the house. The thing was next. To go under was next to the house. Big, doors that open up from the ground like this. And then you go in and there's steps and you go down. I've seen those kind, but the ones that I've always seen that are directly under the home, I've always known it to have a access from inside the house. Not necessarily the outside of the house, but definitely from the inside of the house. This one here actually has a door on the outside of the house. Now, I've seen basements that have had windows, like John Benet Ramsey, but I never remember their basement ever having a door to the outside. The only way you could get in there was from that window where that suitcase was, where they believe somebody did break into the house, or from the main entrance into the house, or upstairs where the house is. I'm sure the house probably had multiple entries, like a front door, a back door, maybe a side door that you could get into. And the entrance was inside the house to get down to the basement. But again, this house here is sitting on top of the basement, and you could clearly see a door going to the basement. So to have to believe that there's a door going to the basement and there's another door from the inside of the house, from the basement to the interior of the house. So yeah, this basement, I would venture to say, now it's just an assumption, but I would venture to say that there is access to this basement from the inside of that house. Yeah, the Wizard of Oz doors. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. The ones out there, next to the buildings. I didn't see the doors. Like theirs, they have a nice, beautiful door that goes under into their basement. But out there in Oklahoma, it's like this big old thing that you have these huge doors that you have to lift up, and you go down the stairs and you close those doors, and you can put a latch on the doors to keep them from swinging back open. But they're almost flush with the ground, which is what keeps them safe and keeps them, from flying off. So egress windows are for access for fire and emergencies. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. So that's kind of where we are. Let's get back here.
I know that's a That's a lot of questions still out there. It's very early for us to try to answer those right now. So we're waiting on a search warrant for the residents to determine if there's more evidence inside that will lead us one way or the other.
So can you say that again? Be clear, you don't think this is a murder?
At this time, we have no indication that this is a murder-suicide.
So at the very beginning from this, they already believed that these people were a victim of foul play. So they were investigating this case as such from out the gate, which tells us a lot, okay? And the fact that they modified the video that they put out to the public to make sure we couldn't enhance it tells me that they've already enhanced it. And I'd have to think that that enhancement is showing a face or an image of a face. So doodles are very, very friendly. Yes, they are. I think any dog is friendly. I'm just going to tell you like this because I've seen, I got bit by a black lab from across the street when I first moved into this house. That black lab was left alone on a chain all the time. And when that dog got off the chain, he was mean, okay? Because he was isolated and the owner turned him mean. And this is a black lab, okay? Black labs are very docile dogs. They're very nice, friendly, sweet dogs. I've had a black lab. My black lab was a nice, sweet, loving, dog. She was beautiful. Long story short is, I really believe that when it comes to animals, all animals are sweet. I don't think any animal is aggressive. I think they're taught, they're an animal. And so if they're tied up, if they're isolated, if they're beaten, if they're starved and only provided food, XYZ, they will be aggressive. You can turn a dog, any dog, into an aggressive dog. Any dog. If I wanted to turn Delilah into an aggressive chihuahua, I would make her the meanest damn chihuahua that would take off somebody's freaking hand. It's just like that. Hey, Anonymous, it's nice to see you, love. So there is that, and I believe every dog is a product of their owner. And I will always say that because I've been around dogs my entire life. And the only dog that I ever had that was semi-violent was Max, and he was my baby. And he was an adopted dog. He had already had certain tendencies long before I got a hold of him. And while he did calm down a little bit when he injured the dog across next door, we had to put him down. There was just no way we could keep him. And it wasn't because of me. It was because of whoever had him before me. He was chained. When I got that dog just came off a 3-foot chain. And probably had been on that 3-foot chain since he was a puppy. Okay? So he was a very, very good, well-mannered dog. It's just that some things you just can't fix. We did a very good job with him, but he ended up climbing a fence. People say dogs don't climb. Bullshit. I watched my dog climb a wood fence. And you're like, that's impossible. No, it's not. No, it is not. That's exactly why I had to turn my wood fence around backwards. I had it because when Max was here, he was a very, very tall dog. He was about, 5.5 feet standing up, maybe 6 feet standing up. He was a big dog. He was not a Great Dane. He was a pit. And I think he was about 5.5 feet. He was taller than me when he stood up on his legs and had his paws in the air. Okay. You got to understand a fence is 6 foot tall. He put his paws on the top. You have 3 strips. He put his paws on the top. He took his bottom paw and reached it up to the second strip. And he'd get his head over the fence, and then he would just throw his body over the fence. Okay? So don't tell me. I watched him do it. We did everything we could. You know what we ended up having to do? We ended up having to fence the whole entire yard, but put the fence panels backwards. So the slick side was on the inside of the gate, and the ones that had the strips on were on like the neighbors. And it's just the opposite when you put a fence in. When you put a fence in, the exposed beams and the back of the fence should be on the interior of your fence. The exterior of your fence should have the beautiful finished product, right? So we had to have the beautiful finished product on the inside of our fence to keep the dog in. So yeah, a German Shepherd, they break through windows. Are you kidding me? I watched a German Shepherd go in heat and literally dive out a closed window on the second floor. I watched it. So craziest thing I've ever seen. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys learned a little bit of information about this new case, Monique and Spencer Tepe. I think is how Tepe or Tepe is how you pronounce their last name. But we're going to be going down this. This is a whodunit. You know, we don't know how this case is going to move forward, but everything that I'm feeling with this case, and it's just my opinion, is that this is ultra personal. This is somebody they without a doubt know. Only time will tell, but I don't know anybody that's willing to go into somebody's home between 3 or 5 o'clock in the morning, no forced entry, without any knowledge of the people. Could this be a hitman? If it was a hitman, I would think that both of them would have one single bullet in the cranium and be done with it. Nice, clean. It's the guy. It's the guy. It's Spencer. Spencer's the one that I really truly believe that that this feels something. Whoever did this hated Spencer. Okay? Whoever did this, whoever physically had that firearm, hated Spencer. This was not a hit, in my opinion. Somebody hated that man. Who hated him enough to want him gone? It was somebody he knew. If you guys have any answers, please don't forget to reach out. Bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Guys, you rock it out. We'll see you soon. God bless. Good gracious. Delilah's going cray-cray right now. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. I don't know what oh, wow. I guess you guys just got hit with a commercial because... Excuse me. Delilah, no. You got to quit doing that. Go. You're being rude. Being rude. All right, guys. As you guys see, Delilah is pop, pop, pop. She wants to go play. And you guys hear her. She's very demanding. She's a bossy broad. So let me go take care of her. I'll be back here later today to talk about Sebastian Rogers. I don't know, around 5:30, between 5 and 6 o'clock tonight. So if you guys are interested, hopefully that'll give me enough time to plug in some assess interviews and Delilah, I said no. Quit being ugly and quit begging. She's being rude today. Just rude. So hopefully we'll have some additional, interviews plugged in that we can start asking some questions to. I'm going to try to get as much up to, all of Seth's interviews in, as much up to where we are with Katie and Chris, and see if that makes a difference. I don't know if it will or not, but we'll give it a shot. So rock it out with your coffee beans out, guys, and we'll see you soon.